We've come a long way since I bought this abandoned wooden catamaran 2 years ago, and it's been my goal since I bought it to fix her up just enough so that I can sail down south to warmer weather where hopefully there's less humidity for this boat, and it looks like we're on track to doing that this year. As far as I can tell, with my very limited boat building experience, today's episode marks the end of structural repairs on the boat. Last week you saw me digging out loads of rot from the side of the boat, the rubbing strip, and on these boats that's particularly important because it holds the lashings for the beams. Obviously this boat is lashed together with rope. So this week I'm fixing it, and I'm also testing out my new autopilot and giving my dodgy engines a proper good test. So I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks so much for watching. So I'm just getting my ducks in a row. I've pretty roughly cut out all the pieces. They sort of fit in, they slot in quite nicely. And obviously I'm gonna glue and screw these on, but I'll take the screws out afterwards. So I've just put a few screws in to these pieces, and then once I get a load of epoxy mixed up, I'll try and screw them on with epoxy. Obviously taking the screws out for these, because as we've seen, all the rot is from screws and nails. Obviously you have to leave the screws in sometimes. There's definitely quite a lot of steps with this job, so I just need to manage it properly, get everything just done, smashed out. The epoxy has kicked very nicely. That's what they call it here in the Netherlands. I don't know if they do it everywhere else, but when it sets, it kicks. That's what they say. I'm really happy with it. It's actually, for my standards, quite neat. I just need to unscrew the screws. Obviously, they're just to screw the wood in place. I'm really happy with the front 3 strips of plywood that I've put on. Obviously, because they're little individual strips, they bend to the contour of the hull. So they've pulled in nicely as I've screwed them in. But yeah, I'm just going to clean it up, do a little bit of extra filling. Unfortunately, where those 3 front strips are, there is a big chunk of epoxy that's just going to leak, so I'm going to actually have to put fiberglass over that. So I'll sand it back and just see if I can put a few little pieces of waterproofing fiberglass. Oh no. Oh no! Oh. Oh. So I'm all out of paintbrushes, but sometimes just using your hand it's not bad. I'm not even sure if this little piece of fiberglass is going to do much, but should help. It's Bank Holiday Monday today, so all the shops are closed, so I can't get any wood, can't get all the things that I need to finish off this rubbing strip. But I'm just having a proper good clear out of the whole boat again. I've still got areas like this which are just absolutely disgusting. So I'm cleaning all this out. Previously I had a big power bank here, but my friend was borrowing it for King's Day. So now I actually have the space to move around in here so I can clean it. And I'm wondering whether I might sell that battery bank and just try and get a couple of smaller ones so that they fit and I can just access these back shelves a bit better. Yeah, I'm really enjoying decluttering, getting rid of as much stuff as possible. So it's looking a lot better, not perfect, and unfortunately this one can't be another berth because that's where my fridge is. Another thing that I'm thinking about now is how I'm going to have power and stuff. At the moment I just have these portable battery banks which are really good, and I might try and use those. I've got loads of solar panels, foldy solar panels, but I might need something more waterproof, more fixed. We'll see. Most importantly, I have space for my fishing stuff. That's the most important. We've got quite a mission today to get all the things that I need to finish off this repair on the side of the boat, the rubbing strip or whatever you call it. Unfortunately my bicycle is out of order, so there's going to be a lot of walking to the wood shop, but luckily I can take the dinghy to the marine shop so I can get Sikaflex and epoxy paint and all that stuff. But then yeah, a lot of walking and traipsing around today. Alright, here we are. Oh shit, I don't know how long it's supposed to be. 28 to 100. Stupidly I forgot to measure how long I needed, so I've got 4 meters, which should do it. And anyway, it's never bad having a few extra feet of good wood, so I think it's Meranti, 4 meters, 28 mil by 120, so I'll have to cut it down a bit. We've arrived at the boat shop. I need to walk to the DIY store and fill up my backpack full of supermarket goods. Col Arbois, Super Sturk, Super Fort. I think this is the stuff. Got my glue, some drills and a little treat. So you clip that onto your Makita batteries and you have a battery bank. Probably not going to be very fast charging, but not bad in an emergency. I love treating myself to little bits and bobs. Because there's a couple of knots along the edge, I was just trying to work out exactly where I should be planing, because obviously you want to be not planing against the grain of the wood. But as I've looked closer, there's loads of little tiny holes which look like woodworm, and the plank is actually riddled with them. I think it's woodworm, I don't know. I'll do some googling, but they kind of look like staple holes. I took the wood back to the shop. They had no problems changing it for me. They did say that it was PHND pinholes, non-defective. There used to be some woodworm in there, but the wood's been treated, so there's no larvae or eggs or anything. But because of the little holes, I decided to change it anyway. This one's in much better shape, hardly needs any planing on one side, so I can get the circular saw out and get a nice cut on it. So I'm happy I changed it. I'm going to stop what I'm doing with the wood just because it's getting a bit late. I'd like to paint the plank and all the exposed bits where the plank will stick to, just so that it's ready for tomorrow and I can make more progress tomorrow. So if you're weighing out paint, the ratio is so much different. If I was doing it by volume, it would be 25 parts to 100 parts, but because it's by weight, it's 14 parts for 100. I guess this is heavy, I don't know. So to make it easy, I'll just do 100 grams of this and 14 of that. So hopefully tomorrow I can be pretty much there and I can almost screw it on and almost tick this job off. There's a lot of like drilling and dowels and stuff like that to make it look pretty, but yeah, the meat and potatoes should be done tomorrow. Let's cross our fingers for that. All my ducks are in a row. I'm ready to Sikaflex and screw this thing on. So hopefully today I can get this screwed on and also get my dowels glued in, and then that will be the meat and potatoes of it, and tomorrow just finishing off. So hopefully it all goes in. I'm going to pre-drill the holes in situ because I've got these pretty thick screws. They're not really self-tappers. Torx screw heads are the undeniable greatest of all time. I hate Phillips heads. Not incredibly happy with this. I would give it a 5 out of 10. 5 being safe but ugly. It's not done, so tomorrow I might be able to redeem it, make it a 6 out of 10. I think I put a bit too much Sikaflex on. The little white bits popping out of the side, that's paint, that's not Sikaflex, but because it's quite warm and I put a big thick blob, it really took a lot of pressure to push the wood onto the part where I was screwing it onto. So I have managed to go back with the hand screwdriver just to tighten everything up, and I did get a bit more of a squidge. All the gaps are sort of filled, but it just looks ugly, especially at the front, but hopefully tomorrow I can sort it out. Someone mentioned I should get an impact driver. I didn't really understand the benefit of it, but then today I'm thinking, yeah, when I'm screwing it in, obviously my drill isn't strong enough. I'm guessing the impact driver just turns it a little bit at a time and gets it to the right tension, and this drill that I've got is good, but it doesn't go too high in terms of torque or whatever you call it. Tomorrow I can probably redeem this, but for the rest of the day I'm going to glue in the little plugs. I'd bought ready-made ones because I did have a little dowel tap thing, but it was really difficult to make them. And hopefully these will tap in with a bit of that glue that I got, and tomorrow I'll polish it up, paint this ugly white bit because that's doing my head in, and redeem it. Might be better tomorrow, but it's safe. When I'm turning the screws, they're not spinning loose in the holes, they're still gripping. So that's the main thing really. So yeah, 5 out of 10, safe. This wood glue that I was using, it's more of like a PVA glue. I was expecting it to be this sort of transparency brown one which actually sort of expands after you put it in. It says watertight on there, but also it should be alright. I still have a little bit of deck paint. It's a 2 component. I've just had to weigh it out 2 to 1. Hopefully it'll look okay. I think we've gone from a 5 to a 5.5 or maybe a 6. Yeah, it's just a little bit ugly at the front. Like I said, I think it's safe, so we're all good. I can move on now. So the idea is 5 wraps around with this 8mm rope, bowling in the end. Just got to try and get these as even and as tight as possible, so you can kind of like play the harp, pull them out to the side. Take the strength. So I've got those as tight as I can. They're pretty tight. And these are called frapping turns, which help to tension it, well, a lot more actually. That is flipping tight. Proper tight. Tomorrow, Peter from Nautinect Autopilots is coming. We're going to fit a much bigger motor and get a proper autopilot installed. We're going to do some testing. We're going to be using the engines, and in the last video you saw that the engine cut out. So I've just been trying to figure out what the problem was, and perhaps it was just fuel starvation, but I've been fiddling with it and it seems to be working. Yeah, that should be okay, hopefully. My cockpit is looking very basic. Got a nice yellow box to liven the place up. Waterproof. I'm going to screw that down. For this engine, it just came with this harness and it's all sort of a bit of a mess. I think you can put gauges in here, and rather than like building a proper box for it, I just went on Amazon, got a waterproof box which will fit it inside. So I'll just screw this down. Peter's back with Nautinect Autopilots. What are we doing?
version 2. So because of the heavy steering, we beefed up the motor. It looks the same size, but actually it's 3 times as heavy. This is a much stronger motor. Actually going to use it for all the versions. Bit of overkill in terms of motor power is always good. So that's the main improvement. Also has a lower RPM. So we probably going to get like 4 to 6 times the torque to turn this heavy wheel. Just mount it here. A few iterations. You can tension it by either, see the tension mechanism going? So you don't need to have new holes in your boat to make it more tension. And then if you, it will engage. Actually the first one is in use since last week in the US. His name is Sam, he's a follower of your channel. That's also I have to mention. Yeah. I got quite a few sales of your channel. So I'm going to provide you with a discount code. It's Wildling 10. So all users using that coupon code get a 10% discount and Mark will get a fee as well.
Yes!
To get a steady source of income, I would say. So I'm quite proud that I think 70% of my sales come through your channel, and it's now averaging I think more than 1 per week.
Oh, that's
currently,
good.
Yeah. No, but I have to thank you 1,000 times, of course, because I gone through the comments of the previous installation, and there was a lot of criticism about me hammering the end of your shaft. So I will definitely don't do that again. But it's feedback. Some people made a comment like, Mark is our floating marketing machine of Nautinect, and I think they are right. And you definitely should be at least rewarded for your efforts.
Well, it's good. I get an autopilot, so I'm good. Yeah, we're gonna get it all installed. A bit of a dry fit still with the battery, but get everything fixed down and then take the baby for a spin.
Yeah, so this is my battery that I use at home for testing as well. The autopilot doesn't consume a lot of power, so it will be able to run a few days on this battery alone.
Yeah.
But out here in the, what's it called? The North Sea Canal?
Yeah.
It will be fine. We got it hooked up already with the battery. So if we put it on, press and hold. And now it's reacting to the turning of the ship. Now you can have multiple devices connected. So if I turn it on, you both see it's turned on.
Okay.
And if you turn it red, see? So both screens are the same. The tension is not over tighten and not slipping.
Yeah.
That's crucial because an over tension belt would cause unnecessary strain on the system. So you can just orient it and it's, do you hear the click? Or you either go, so now it's, that's it.
It's really windy today.
Let me tune some settings.
So what's going on, Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise. Previous time was Elon Musk and I'm Tom Cruise. So we're actually heading down the canal, slowly moving correction. So for example, if I do a 10 degree to the left, it will respond to that.
Yeah. So now it's just in automatic.
It's on automatic. My preferred way is via the remote, of course. So we're slowly moving to the target. We already turned for 8 degrees. So now we're approaching the target. So it's now trying to stay on course. It's vibrating a lot. We have to mount it down. So if I hold it still, you see that that it's way more relaxed in its steering. So it's actually holding course quite nicely.
It's actually incredibly windy, especially now we're going up against the wind coming back. It's like 20 26 knots, something like that. Yeah, we're doing 4 knots. We're not using the full power of the engines. So the tests went well because of the excess vibration, which is a particular problem on my boat when I'm motoring because of my loose fitting decks and just the way that the engines move. Peter's going to update the code, the software, and also I need to find a way of mounting the control box as vibration free as possible. Obviously the plan is to be sailing, so the vibration won't be an issue when sailing. So these engines are just for getting me in and out of marinas really, and motoring on flat calm water, because I really do not want to be using these engines going into a big swell. I feel like they could just about handle it, but it scares me, so I'm going to avoid motoring into swell as much as possible. Although when you're cruising, that's not easy to do. We were in a really busy shipping lane, so we were on the North Sea Canal, and there's just huge container ship after container ship, crane barges, all sorts of stuff. And coming back to the marina with a 25 knot headwind, it was pretty crazy. Not the most ideal places for testing my autopilot, but it was a success. The engines were perfect. You could think that it was a bit of a risk going out into such a windy, busy shipping lane after one of the engines conking out, but they both ran so smoothly. Felt like an achievement in itself, just building my confidence more. The engines are sound. They didn't miss a beat, they didn't cut out, so I think we're good. Finally. As you know, there's a code Wildling10 for 10% off the Nautinect website, so you can buy the control box, you can also buy the correct actuator, whether it's a motor and a wheel pilot like I've got on mine, or a linear actuator. Get it all on nautinect.com. But for me it's really fun being part of the Nautinect team as the marketing. I'd really like to see Peter's enthusiasm for his product, and I'd really like to see Nautinect grow, and I'd love to be a part of it. So yeah, I'm really stoked, as they say, as all the surfers say, to be a part of it. So that was a lot of waffle at the end of the video, so I'll try and keep this short, but that's, I think, for now, the structural repairs. I think there's going to be more that come up. I do have a bit of spongy deck actually at the front, so I don't know if that counts as structural. I was hoping to do that in warmer weather, but it's actually been like incredible weather, so yeah, I'm still going to leave it. I'm just going to tape it up. We're going to move down south as soon as possible. I'm going to do some testing on the lakes, like stress testing, so because on the lakes you get a really short swell, I think that's going to be really good for practicing some close hold sailing, really shake out the boat, and hopefully if something breaks, it breaks in the lakes and I can fix it, or if something catastrophic goes wrong, it happens in a very controlled environment. So the first couple of weeks in June I'm going to be on the lakes, and then I'm going to head out to sea with a good forecast. So I've got a crew member coming, and also I need to arrange crew still. I'm so behind on it for end of June and early July, so I'm working on that. But yeah, huge thanks firstly just for watching, secondly for all your amazing, really nice comments every week. I worry and I cringe sometimes when I watch the videos back at how I don't know, silly I look. And when I read the comments, they're so supportive and nice, and some really good constructive feedback as well, so thank you so much. But an extra special thank you, I'm sorry for always leaving it to the end, but my patrons, coffee givers, PayPalers, super thankers on YouTube, thank you so much. I mentioned a little bit in the video that I posted to Patreon about how your guys' generous support is just enabling me to do this. I'm literally living out my dream, and that is thanks to you guys. So I don't know if I can truly express how grateful I am. My parents are coming this weekend for another week, so we're going to get loads of stuff done, and should be out sailing on the lakes very soon and making my way down south. Talking fast, faces pass, and I'm home now. Bye bye.